Alright. What's happening? What up? What it do? That's for sure. But everybody in my city say, what up, though? What up? What up, though? What up? What up, though? What's going on, y'all? Hope everyone's having the smoothest, the coolest, and 100% truest Sunday night that they ever did have. We got my auntie for life in here. Hope you're being real smooth with it, real cool with it, and 100% true with it. Aggie with the wrench, girl, what's going on? You being real smooth, cool, and true with it? I know you are, Aggie with the wrench. Oh, I know you are, Aggie with the wrench. Yo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wait a minute. Did I read the copyright disclaimer act, y'all? I read it? I don't think I did. Did I read the copyright disclaimer? I don't think I did. Let me read it. All right. So, we're going to start off right here. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Okay, okay. You heard me say it. It came out of my mouth. You can't say I didn't. You know, it's in the description. It's pinned in the chat. You know, you can't sue me. You know, it's in act. Copyright disclaimer. Fair use. It's fair game, y'all. It's fair game out here with that. Then really quickly, let me shout out to my replay gang and my bush watchers. Don't forget to kindly take whatever finger and lift it up real smooth, like real cool, like, and tap that thumbs up button for your girl. Share the live, you know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free 99. Help your girl out, you know. Hit that subscribe button for your girl. So yeah. There we have it with that. So you know, we got 17 days left of 2025, y'all. 17 days. Woohoo. Ready for 2026. Lots of doors closing and new ones opening, I'm sure, for lots of people. Real smooth, like real cool, like, you know. Um, I know they are for me, for your girl, you know. Nothing but good things, big things. Um, so there's two things I'm gonna do. I just remember there's a story that stuck with me. I remember Christmas. I'll never forget it, and it just made me kind of like just do, wanted to see, because tragedy does still happen on 12/25, the 25th day of Christmas or leading up to it. And so I kind of like Googled, and there was a, what happened in Detroit, around Christmas time, to the shorties and stuff. And then I'm gonna doing a breakdown, and we're gonna do, we're gonna see, we're gonna go down like like how they did like the best music awards, but not like best, but like we're gonna see all the tragic stories in 2025. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, the biggest, the craziest ones, um, uh, and they don't have to be in Michigan, but we're gonna see the all the monsters of 2025. That's what I'm gonna be bringing to y'all tomorrow. We're gonna break it down. Um, so starting off, I'm gonna start off with the story. I remember I woke up and it was a Christmas Day, or some would call it Christmas Day, and I remember scrolling and I read about the two shorties, two little boys. They were so excited. The mom was heating the house with the space heater, and they fell asleep in front of the Christmas tree. And unfortunately, it caught fire. Um, and the shorties didn't make it, man. And they were just so excited to wake up the next day. And that story, it happened I want to say maybe 4 years ago. And I'll never, every Christmas or every December, I always think about them little boys. You know, I always do. So I'm gonna go on mute and we're gonna start it off, y'all. Let's set it off. Set it off.
But we begin with tragedy here at home on Christmas Day. 2 children killed in an early morning house fire on Detroit's east side. 3 other children and an adult were also rushed to the hospital. The fire happened at a home on Helen Street, not far from the intersection of Outer Drive and Van Dyke. Our Victor Williams is there live tonight. Victor, is there any indication what may have started the fire?
No, not right now. All of that is under investigation, but this is not the type of Christmas surprise you would want to have, especially on this day out of all of them. But this is what one family is going through, and as you can see behind me, the house, of course, was a total loss. That's just one of the many things this family is now going to have to unfortunately recover from. The family of Dylan and Demarion, ages 6 and 7, are still coming to terms with the sudden and untimely death of the 2 young boys following a house fire on Helen Street.
It's very devastating for our family.
Please just pray for us. Please pray so hard like you never prayed before.
Police are still investigating what led to the fire. Dylan and Demarion were home with their mother and 3 other siblings when the flames broke out around 8:46 this morning. First responders quickly arrived to rescue as many children as they could. The mother, D'Amica, and her 3 other children were able to make it out with injuries. Dylan and Demarion were not able to escape in time.
We're very grateful because it could have been all of them. We could have been grieving more, but it don't make it no better.
The good news, at least, is that the other children are expected to be okay. But this is really one of the worst possible things that could have happened on Christmas Day.
One of them have a 3rd-degree burn that we know of. The other one is sedated right now. He looks pretty bad too.
Now, it took first responders less than 10 minutes to make it here on the scene. So as you guys can imagine, this did take a toll on the firefighters and medics that had to handle this situation. We'll hear more from them about what they had to go through coming up tonight at 11. But for now, we are reporting live tonight. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Oh, your heart just breaks for that family and those first responders. Thanks, Victor.
At least 4 little kids are in the hospital right now from a house fire. As you can see, most of the damage started at the top of the house. I spoke with one neighbor who was inside at the time of the fire. He says all of this started in just minutes.
So I woke up to a noise, you know what I mean? And I just got up and went straight to the front door.
This neighbor did not want to be identified, but says he had to get out of this home in just seconds.
Cause we about to go down the front doors, the steps as we thinking. And I looked through the peephole, it was just smoke.
You can see what's left of this multi-family home on Otsego Street in Detroit Thursday morning. Local 4 here on scene as crews tried to put out the fire. We know several people, including little kids, were inside the home at the time. Our cameras there as firefighters carried each of them outside one by one. First, a little girl with braids. Then 2 little boys brought out next. Emergency crews rushed all the little kids to the hospital. The youngest one, a 3-year-old. The oldest is 10. Fire crews say that little 3-year-old girl went into cardiac arrest and as of Thursday afternoon is in critical condition. The rest of the kids are suffering from smoke inhalation. The 25-year-old mother was treated at the scene.
I'm just thanking God, and I pray everybody, just be okay.
Reporting on the Detroit's West Side, Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Yeah, we hope so too. Arson investigators have been called to the scene. No word on that yet, but the fire is under investigation.
Which opens the door to extraordinary.
We start tonight with new information on a deadly fire that claimed the life of a West Toledo child early morning on Christmas Eve. The family did speak to WTOL's Michael Tater today, confirming that Friday's victim is 9-year-old Amari Lockett. And with heavy hearts, neighbors and one family member spoke to Michael about what happened in a few ways actually that the community can help.
I kept hearing the screams over and over and over.
At 4 a.m., it was like a scream, like someone was in trouble.
It was like, like a desperate crying for help scream.
That's how one neighbor described what she heard waking up on Friday morning. She says the neighborhood sees its share of gunshots and other disturbances, so at first, she didn't think anything of it, but the screams just kept getting louder.
They were so intense that I got up. And I seen a lot of people on the corner there, and then maybe a minute later, I seen smoke, a lot of smoke behind that red apartment building, and then I seen a lot of flames.
Another neighbor called 911 around 4:30, and fire crews got to the house quickly, where they found 5 people outside, but unfortunately, 9-year-old Amari Lockett was found dead upstairs, according to family.
That's the worst thing for anybody to die in a house fire, let alone a child. That's like your worst nightmare. And I feel so bad for the family.
3 of the family members had to be transported to the hospital. Diamond Lockett, Amari's aunt, says everyone is doing okay now, with one recovering from some burns. But she says the family lost everything in the fire, with nothing but rubble remaining. There's a GoFundMe posted online right now for anyone that would like to help. In West Toledo, Michael Tater, WTOL 11.
Turning now to Detroit police killing a man suspected of murdering his wife and her teenage daughter on Christmas morning.
Their bodies found at a home on Prevost near 7 Mile on the city's west side.
7 Action News reporter Kiara Hay has the new dispatch audio from a raid that led to the suspect's death.
Detroit Police Chief James White says DPD has been working tirelessly to find the man they suspect killed 2 people on Christmas Day. Now that search led them to these apartments off of Woodward and Owen Street. Police forcefully entered the apartment they suspected McDonald was in. That's when fire was exchanged and McDonald was killed. It's been 3 days since the brutal murders of 57-year-old Elaine Pfizer and her adopted disabled daughter, DeWanna Fields. An eternity for Pfizer's older daughter, Margaret Shively.
Wasn't able to eat, sleep, still can't.
Her mother and sister gone. And the suspected killer, her stepfather, 64-year-old Dwayne McDonald, still on the loose.
He's going to be executing a search warrant for a homicide suspect.
But today, Detroit police say they were tipped off that McDonald was hiding inside of Santa Rita Apartments. They forcefully entered and was confronted by McDonald, who had a gun.
We do have shots fired. We do have a suspect down.
A shot was fired, at which time the officers returned fire, striking Mr. McDonald, and he is deceased.
Shively, who found her mother and sister dead on Christmas Day, says justice is served.
We still got a long way to go as a family to heal.
He's out the picture. He out the picture.
But he's out the picture.
Shively taking time today to thank Detroit police.
All we can do is express our gratitude. It's not going to bring my mother-in-law back. We got some nice closure.
It's been nonstop. Some of these detectives haven't slept. You know, when you're talking about a 14-year-old handicapped child and listening to them describe the scene, it's horrific. And, you know, to see a wheelchair and a dead child, you know, that's not easy on anybody. And so they are passionate about this work, and they did a very good job. I just wish we had a more peaceful resolution.
Detroit police tell us there was 2 other people inside the apartment where McDonald was, but Chief White says he doesn't believe they were helping McDonald hide. In fact, he says they were thankful that police were there to help, but they wish the outcome was different. In Detroit, Kiera Hay, 7 Action News.
Can you be a travel advisor without quitting your 9-to-5? Actually, yes. We're Fora, the modern travel agency, and we are empowering anyone with a passion for travel to earn on the trips that they plan. At Fora, our approach is flexible, which means you decide what your travel business looks like. For some of our advisors, that means transitioning away from their full-time jobs into a full-blown travel career. And for others, it means pursuing their...
Following the story since it first broke. On Christmas night, an absolutely horrific, tragic story. 3 days later, the ending that no one expected.
You know, my mom, she ain't hurt nobody, neither did Diana. They didn't hurt anybody, so I'm glad his life is gone. You know, I'm glad he's gone.
He is 62-year-old Dwayne McDonald, first named a person of interest and then becoming the main suspect in the Christmas Day double murder of his wife, Elaine, and her 13-year-old disabled daughter, Diana. He was on the run since the day of the shootings at the family home on Prevost on Detroit's west side. On Tuesday afternoon,
After surviving a horrific shooting 24 years ago while in college, tonight a Metro Detroit woman now serves as an advocate for crime victims. She and other survivors hope for legislation that will help future victims. CW50's April Morton shares her story.
The scars on Kiana Wembley may be old, but they tell a story, one she'll never forget.
We ended up in the middle of a domestic dispute between a brother and sister, and long story short, I ended up shot twice in the eye and in my arm.
That was on Christmas Day 24 years ago while Kiana was home on break from the University of Michigan. She says she was just looking forward to spending time with family and enjoy the holidays.
Pretty much my life changed in an instant. I never imagined something like that would ever happen to me.
But it did, and Kiana says the trauma from it still haunts her today.
The fear of potentially losing your life and then having to be reacclimated into society.
Kiana went from being a victim to being a victim's advocate.
Victims' compensation so that they can get the resources that they need and live healthier, more productive lives.
Kiana not only works as a therapist helping others through trauma, she's also a member of the organization Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice, the group advocating for legislation that would increase support for crime victims by extending the time they have to apply for compensation. Now they need to apply within 48 hours of being victimized. Well, 2 days after Kiana was shot, she was barely conscious like many victims. The Safer Michigan Act was passed by the House and will go before the Senate in January. Kiana may have lost her vision in her right eye, but says she will not lose sight of her vision for the future of crime victims. In Detroit, April Morton, CW50, News at 10.
This morning, we're learning more about a deadly carjacking on Detroit's east side. It happened Thursday night in the 14,000 block of Gratiot. We're told 2 suspects ordered the victim out of his car and shot him multiple times. The suspect then got away with the victim's car, and according to the Detroit Free Press, the victim was driving a Chevy Trailblazer, which police say is still missing. If you have any information, call Detroit Police right away.
Love podcasting but hate editing? The next 30 seconds will change your life.
The reason Riverside is the place you want is it is a one-stop shop for people who do not know how to edit. So you can go in, you can create the content, whether it's by yourself or whether you did the interview. And now
Fox 2's Veronica Meadows joins us live tonight. And Veronica, this is just a horrific story.
Yeah, the devastation and grief for this family is just beginning. Now, adding to their heartbreak, investigators made a gruesome discovery in the mom's disappearance. Investigators say they found Latima Warren's remains scattered around her home.
She was just a sweet, bubbly young lady, you know. She'd give you really the shirt off her back.
Gwen Parks remembers the happy times. She says her loved one, Latima Warren, was a mom of 4 with a sweet soul. But now Parks has to have an unimaginable conversation.
And I have to tell these kids. Their mother was killed.
Parks is the mom of Warren's ex and the grandma of their older kids. Parks says she first knew something wasn't right when she stopped by Warren's and her boyfriend's home near Tireman and Vaughn on Detroit's west side last month.
He told me he hadn't seen Tima in 4 days, and you didn't call anyone, you didn't say anything to anyone.
So Parks filed a missing persons report, put up flyers, and called police every day.
I still want to know. Let her know, when it all said and done, I did not give up looking for her, and I knew she was out there.
Then on Monday and Tuesday, Parks says investigators found Warren's dismembered body in bags scattered around the couple's home. Investigators say a child was home at the time.
I don't want to just even picture her being cut up and dismangled by this guy. The pain she had to be going through. This is not a human that would do something like this to a person.
Police arrested Warren's boyfriend and are calling him a suspect. Now as the grief sets in, Parks says she'll always remember Warren's sweet smile and loving heart.
It means a lot to me to have closure because, you know what, I know people go years without finding their loved ones, and this is not how I wanted to find her, but I didn't want to give up looking for her.
Parks says on Sunday a search group went to the backyard of the home. There, Parks says they found a bag with the mom's clothes inside. That's when Parks says they called police, who came out the next day with a search warrant, and that is the first day her remains were found. From downtown Detroit, Veronica Meadows, we'll send it back to you.
Veronica, it's so hard to imagine what this family is going through. How are her 4 children doing?
You know, it really sounds like the whole family is just trying to process everything that is going on. You heard Gwen Parks there. She says she still has to talk to some of the kids, and it really is all around a devastating situation for them. The kids range in age. The youngest just 3 months old, and the mom also had some teenagers as well. Just an unimaginable situation for that family.
Yeah, I don't know how you have that conversation. Just unbelievable. All right, Veronica, thanks for that live report.
Antonio Harris and his family mourn the death of his brother in a case that shook the city when a bitter woman killed him with her car. Now the violence in Detroit has taken Antonio's life as well. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Alan Campbell. And tonight, his parents say they won't rest until his killer is behind bars. 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig has more from Detroit's west side on their search for justice.
Antonio was at a party on Christmas Eve when someone told his family that he was hurt. And before his parents could get to the scene, they started seeing on Facebook people posting, "Rest in peace."
Jealousy, envy, hatred. It wasn't accidental. He shot my son multiple times in the chest and in the back.
Rachel and Terrence Ricks mourning the loss of their 22-year-old son, Antonio, who was shot and killed on Christmas Eve inside this house on Wildermere near Puritan on Detroit's west side.
I know it was like between 15 to 20 kids in this house at the time. And we do know he knew that person. When we got there, it was no one there. Everybody had left.
Here we go again with the same, this is so unreal. Like I said, I can't believe this.
What's so unbelievably tragic is Mr. and Mrs. Ricks have suffered this pain before in a case you may recall from June 2017. Perhaps you don't remember the date or Terrence Jr.'s name, but rather the surveillance video that helped put his killer, Denisha Mathis, in prison. She became obsessed with Terrence Jr., stalked him, and ran him down with her car. She pled guilty and was sentenced to 20 to 40 years in prison.
My son didn't deserve to die this way. If my son's supposed to be burying me, not me burying him.
This time, the Ricks and police need the public's help to identify and bring their son Antonio's Christmas Eve killer to justice.
To go through this again is bad. This is really bad. I just want justice for him.
Antonio died just over 2 weeks ago, but his body remains at the James H. Cole Funeral Home until the Ricks, who have set up a GoFundMe account, are able to raise enough money to bury him.
We just want to give him a decent burial. That's all we ask. Just give a decent burial. And if anyone was in that house, please speak up. Please come forward.
Miss Adventures, I sent it to you on TikTok. It's in your messages. Let me know if you need. Yeah, it's in your messages. On the tickety of the tackety. Let me know. I sent it on the tick of the talk. Auntie for life is waving. She's being real smooth and cool with it. Miss Adventures, JJ. Did you hear me, Miss Adventures? Are you still in the building? Let me go look. Let me see if you seen it. Oh. Do. Wasn't that shit hard, that music in the beginning? Okay, bet. She got it. Hold on, y'all. All right, cool. She got it. Cause again, there's gonna be a revamp of the page. You know what I'm saying? Out with the, not out with the old, but kind of like, when you get a haircut and, change your style up, you know what I'm saying? And just, in order to leave some stuff behind, you gotta, I don't know how to say it. Move just a little bit different. So the page is going to be getting revamped, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited. I'm really excited. And, because there's unfortunately, Michigan, again, has a lot of opportunity for crime coverage, and you never know, you know what I'm saying? And at any time, you never know what's going to pop off in this here D-ski,
To speak up, please.
Because this is the hardest thing. I wouldn't want no one to go through this.
So if you have any information on who killed Antonio Harris, please call detectives with Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers. On Detroit's west side, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
A teenager will spend the rest of her life behind bars for killing her disabled mother. 18-year-old Delilah Evans was given a life sentence without possibility of parole. This comes after a jury found her guilty of premeditated murder for the stabbing death of 45-year-old Sonia Ryang. She was found dead in her wheelchair on Christmas Day in 2016. A jury found Evans was suffering from mental illness during the attack, but today the judge said Evans was old enough to know what she was doing when she stabbed her mother 120 times.
Therefore, it is the sentence of the court that with respect to the charge of homicide, first-degree premeditated murder, the defendant be committed to the Michigan Department of Corrections for life without the possibility of parole. There has been
Now, the judge decided this based on the fact that Evans showed no remorse for killing her mother.
David, the movie.
I will not be afraid.
Truck driver set up to be robbed on Detroit's East Side Monday. We're told he came to the area of 7 Mile and Kelly to buy a junk car. That's when sources say he was ambushed from behind by a suspect with a gun, demanding everything he had on him. The suspect did not plan on that driver being a concealed pistols license holder who used his gun to shoot and kill the suspect. Per protocol, the case will be sent to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office for review. But at this point, Detroit police say it looks like he acted in self-defense. And then, on the city's west side Monday, a man rushes into Scotty J Liquor off West Chicago. He'd been shot in the face, telling the clerk to call 911. Detroit police are not releasing much, but say the initial incident happened a block from the liquor store. A day before all this, on Christmas, homicide detectives kept busy on 2 separate murder investigations in the city. First, DPD officers were called to a vehicle parked near John R. and Lance Avenue. Inside, a man with at least 1 gunshot wound to the body. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And then on the city's west side at this Marathon gas station, a man driving the beige pickup truck you see here was leaving the gas station. Witnesses and surveillance video from Project Greenlight cameras show someone walk up to his truck, firing multiple times, hitting him. He died at the scene. We're told the shooter ran off down his side street and got into a getaway car that was waiting. Those 2 Christmas Day murders, the shooters are still out there. On top of the last 48 hours, on Saturday, that was Christmas Eve, there were 3 other people shot in the city of Detroit in 2 separate incidents. One of those victims is in critical condition. Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Turning now to Detroit police killing a man suspected of murdering his wife and her teenage daughter on Christmas morning.
Their bodies found at a home on Prevost near 7 Mile on the city's west side.
7 Action News reporter Kiara Hay has the new dispatch audio from a raid that led to
Aggie, you still up in this bee? Let me know. So it's crazy, you know, just to say, you know, because I don't know, in my opinion, Christmas is every day. You know, I know it's but it's like people think, you know, oh, you know, nothing can go wrong on Christmas. But yeah, tragedy can strike at any time, any day, any moment, any holiday. You know what I'm saying? I know a couple people, you know, who, you know, actually came in this world and left this world on their born day, or let me say their cursed day. Yeah, you're never safe. You know, a holiday doesn't save you. Tragedy can strike at any moment, folks. Any moment.
Now to our other top story, a major development in a double murder that stunned a Fresno County mountain community. A teenage boy took full responsibility in court today for killing his mother and father and seriously injuring his young sister.
He's fortunate because he's in the juvenile system. And under the juvenile system, it's not a criminal case.
Thank you for joining us for Action News Live at 6. Good evening, I'm Margot Kim.
And I'm Dale Urong. The 16-year-old convicted in this case is expected to walk free in 5 years with a potentially sealed record.
Our Gabe Ferris has followed him in court since the crime took place 2 years ago, and he was the only reporter in the courtroom today, bringing us new information you'll see only on Action News. Gabe?
Margot and Dale, the details here are disturbing. We learned today that the teen boy used a gun to kill his dad before using that gun and a knife on his mother and then stabbing his younger sister. Today, a stunning confession behind closed doors. A teenage boy admitting to murdering his parents and then trying to kill his sister in the small Fresno County community of Miramonte. The boy, just 16, smirking as he entered the courtroom in an orange shirt, sitting next to his public defender. The judge asking the boy if he understood he was giving up his right to a trial. Yes, ma'am, he said.
He's admitting to the facts that he killed 2 other people and attempted to kill another person.
Action News legal analyst Tony Capozzi called it a critical moment. The boy's admission comes nearly 2 years after the attack at this home on Dunlap Road. Radio traffic reveals the chaos as the teen claimed someone else was to blame.
RP screaming on the line, saying someone broke into his house with a gun. Can hear children crying. RP frantic, not answering questions.
But investigators discovered it was a fabricated story and quickly turned to that caller. Prosecutors say the boy killed Lu Yang and Si Veng, both 37, and caused major injuries to his 11-year-old sister.
It's very seldom you see a crime this egregious committed by a 14-year-old using a firearm.
In adult court, a double murder charge could have brought a life prison sentence. But in this case, state law prevented prosecutors from seeking a transfer. The juvenile system focuses on rehabilitation, and detention there can only last up to 7 years.
Because someone so young, someone that's a juvenile, the hope is that they would change as they get older.
With his admission, there's no need for evidence to come out in court. The public will never know the details, the motivation, what could have led a 14-year-old to kill both his parents and stab his sister.
The legislature has thought by keeping it sealed would help that person as he develops throughout the years.
And the sentencing for the teenage boy is currently set for Christmas Eve. It could happen just 3 days before the second anniversary of this tragedy. Now, based on the maximum sentence of 7 years here, it would mean that he could walk free with his record sealed at the age of 21. Margot, Dale.
Gabe, when you first covered this story, family members packed the courtroom. Were they there again today?
Yeah, no indication of them today, Margot. They were not there. It was just the boy, 2 investigators, and me. No support for that teen today.
Thank you, Gabe. Change of plea. Today, a Fresno woman agreed to stop fighting a murder charge following the suspicious death of her own half-sister 2 years ago. The surprise move came just hours before prosecutors were set to take their case before a judge and unveil key evidence for the first time.
The evidence is sealed at this point in time. This defendant has not contested the facts of a second-degree murder, which means she wasn't planning this ahead of time.
Thank you for joining us tonight for Action News Live at 6. Good evening, I'm Margot Kim.
And I'm Warren Armstrong. We're live tonight on ABC 30, Hulu Live, and wherever you stream. The killing of Lisa Hinthorn's half-sister shocked the 2 women's family members and left the community searching for answers about why and how it all happened.
Action News reporter Gabe Ferris was in the courtroom this morning getting answers to those questions, just as Hinthorn entered her new plea.
With prosecutors just hours away from revealing new evidence, a change of plea Wednesday.
Ms. Hinthorn, did you hear and understand the terms to resolve your case today, ma'am?
Lisa Hinthorn agreeing to become a convicted killer as she pleaded no contest to the 2023 death of her half-sister, Penny Kinnett.
The maximum.
Did you know that nearly half of U.S. TV streaming time is on Roku? With Roku's new self-service ad tool, it's easy to set up your
I'm Caitlin Leggett in Anson, where what should have been a quiet evening pierced by the screams of a disabled woman who was locked in a dog kennel in the house right here behind me.
You hear that precious child? And I know you have more than just her that's special needs.
This is video we obtained from a concerned neighbor, Justin Anderson, who reported to police on November 22nd that a young disabled woman was being kept in a dog kennel. We want to warn viewers that the video you're about to see may be graphic and viewer discretion is advised. Anderson, the neighbor who called police, recorded the incident around 8 p.m. Saturday night. He describes what he saw and heard that night.
You watch, you can hear her trying to get out.
Video, you can see the young woman trying to break through the locked kennel. A 60-year-old Candace, or Candy Thompson, who can be seen here in the video, was arrested on multiple charges, including aggravated kidnapping and injury to a disabled individual. She was first arrested Saturday, released on bond where she returned home to the foster children, and then re-arrested on aggravated kidnapping charges on Tuesday. We spoke with the City of Anson police chief about the incident.
Officers responded and they located a 22-year-old female locked in a dog kennel in the backyard of that residence.
According to police, there were 2 adult foster children in the home at the time of the arrest. Anderson describes what he felt that night.
Scared for somebody like that. I mean, you know, you see this on crime TV or, you know, movies and stuff like that. And I didn't think that it being this close right there that it would happen in my backyard.
When neighbors asked Thompson why she did it, she responded because the woman was urinating everywhere and tearing her house up. Another neighbor told us she was in shock.
It's just hard. It's just amazing what somebody who's in charge of disabled, mentally challenged girls will do to them. I don't understand.
Thompson and her late husband, who was the former Anson police chief, have fostered over 50 children together over the years before his passing in 2020. Officials say the investigation is still active. The victim is now safe and the suspect remains in custody facing multiple felony charges.
We're serious about protecting especially our most vulnerable citizens.
KTexas attempted to talk to relatives who are currently at the residence and to Thompson at the Jones County Jail, but they all declined to comment.
I just felt sorry for those girls. And I don't talk loud, I talk soft, and I don't hear well, but I knew something wasn't going on over there right. And I'm so glad Justin stepped up to the plate.
A jail nurse is charged with criminally negligent homicide after the death of an inmate in Hood County, southwest of Fort Worth.
Court documents say the inmate needed medical attention, but the nurse failed to give it. Fox 4's David Sentendry joins us live now with more on the investigation and also what the victim's family had to say. David.
Well, Heather and Steve, we do not know the cause of death, but what we do know is it is extremely rare for a nurse to be charged in an inmate's homicide.
He has been in and out of prison my whole life.
For most of Sarah Youngblood's life, she did not know her father, Michael Turner Jr. In recent years, however, they connected, Youngblood's father even moving in with her and her family in Granbury earlier this year.
And I had been dying to meet him literally my whole life. It kind of changed his way of thinking, and he met my kids, you know, those were his grandbabies.
Youngblood knew her father's history with the law, so when she said she learned that him being in Texas violated parole in another state, she says she convinced her father to turn himself in to the Hood County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, I really gave him an ultimatum. If he didn't go turn himself in and get this taken care of, then he couldn't stay with us because we were trying to set a good example for our children.
That was the last time she saw her father.
I wonder why God put him in my life and then he was ripped out so fast.
In April, Turner Jr. died while in custody at Hood County Jail. Public information remains limited, but Fox 4 uncovered court records revealing a jail nurse is now indicted in Turner Jr.'s death.
I don't know what I would say to her because I don't have anything good to say to her.
The Texas Rangers investigated the death. Last month, a Hood County grand jury indicted Rachel Sanders Miller, a nurse for the Hood County Jail, who, according to the indictment, failed to take reasonable action to obtain medical care after being informed that the inmate was in medical distress.
It's really rare to see this.
The nonprofit Texas Jail Project says it's uncommon to see an official, or in this case, a nurse, charged for an inmate's death.
We had, 136 custody deaths reported this year.
And I don't think we've seen that happen in any of those deaths so far.
He needed help, and then nobody helped him.
And months later, Turner Jr.'s loved ones,
he could ramble off any kind of scripture and tell you exactly where it was in the Bible.
Say they still do not have an answer to the most basic question: what exactly happened?
I know that inmates are looked at like, you know, a lesser of the human race, right? But he was a really, really good person.
So again, Texas Department of Public Safety is investigating. I spoke over the phone with a spokesperson earlier today, requested an interview, but at this point in time, we have not received confirmation if that's going to happen. We'll let you know if it does. For now, Steve, Heather, back to y'all.
David Santendry, thank you.
This color does not get you in the holiday spirit. What will? So let me set the scene. You're lounging on the couch, you're reading a book, or you're simply just spending time with family. This color is perfect when you want to feel bold, but you also want to be comfortable. Now this set looks just as good as it feels. Now this platinum gray colorway is probably the most versatile.
Arlington police say they arrested and charged a man accused of a shooting that killed a pregnant woman and her unborn child. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Thank you for watching. 29-year-old Malik Minor is charged with capital murder. The shooting happened along I-20 about a month ago. Arlington police got a call from a man and his girlfriend saying they had both been shot. Fox 4's Amelia Jones live tonight with more on the arrest. Amelia.
Heather, Steve, Arlington police say cell phone data played a key role in the arrest. Detectives say the phone's location placed the suspect on the same route as the victims before and during the shooting. They also learned he had a personal connection to the pregnant woman who was killed, Breasia Johnson.
This wasn't some issue of road rage. We believe that this was a targeted attack, a targeted shooting.
Arlington police say on November 12th, a 28-year-old man, his pregnant girlfriend, and 2 kids were driving on I-20 when someone shot into their car, hitting the man and his girlfriend.
This suspect intended to try to kill, we believe, the male driver.
But 29-year-old Breasia Johnson and her unborn child were the ones who were killed. It didn't take long for a primary suspect to come into focus for Arlington police. Physical evidence at the scene pointed to 29-year-old Malik Minor. People close to Johnson also told detectives to look at him because he was her ex-boyfriend.
They ended up going to get a search warrant for his house, and when they executed that, they did end up seizing a whole lot of items, including Mr. Minor's cell phone, which really turned out to be the key piece of evidence in this case.
Police say the data on the cell phone showed Minor was feuding with the 28-year-old male victim for some time. It also put him on the same route as Johnson the night of the shooting.
So we were able to place him at the scene of the crime with his cell phone, and we also saw it appeared that he was following them that night in his vehicle when the shooting happened.
Minor was arrested Wednesday night and is facing multiple charges for capital murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and deadly conduct. Police say 2 children were in the back seat of the car when the shooting happened. Both were physically unharmed. Then another car driving in the area was hit by gunfire. That driver was also not physically hurt.
Yeah, the cell phone was absolutely the key in this case. That was what gave us the information that we needed to move forward with criminal charges.
Detectives are still investigating if Minor was alone in the car, but police are not looking for any other suspects involved in the shooting.
This is a very violent incident. This was a very brazen incident. People traveling on the highway, gunshots flying, and a number of people could have been hurt. We're certainly glad no more people were hurt.
We reached out to Johnson's family, but we haven't heard back. Arlington police confirmed detectives did reach out to the family last night after the arrest was made. According to Tarrant County records, Minor has 17 prior offenses and was in custody 5 times last year. He has been booked into the Tarrant County Jail, but we are still waiting for his bond information. Heather, Steve.
Can you be a travel advisor without quitting your 9-to-5? Actually, yes. We're Fora, the modern travel agency, and we are empowering anyone with a passion for travel to earn on the trips that they plan. At Fora, our approach is flexible, which means you decide what your travel business looks like. For some of our advisors,
KLFY News 10 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Renee Allen. We thank you for joining us tonight. A family in Eunice tonight pleading for answers after 18-year-old Frederick Stevens Jr. was shot and killed almost 4 months ago. Tonight, his family returns to the spot where he took his last steps. They're hoping to hold a vigil. They did hold one that will hopefully persuade anyone with information to please come forward. News 10's Bailey Leeper was there as the community remembered Fred's life.
I'm standing here at the spot where 18-year-old Frederick Stevens Jr. was shot and killed, a place his family says never should have been marked by violence. Tonight, loved ones returned here for a candlelight vigil, honoring Fred's life and calling for justice, peace, and answers.
To mourn, to remember, and to stand together.
Dozens gathered as the sun set, holding candles and sharing memories of 18-year-old Frederick, Little Fred Stevens Jr. His family says he was kind, funny, and full of life. His smile made everyone feel like family.
Someone who loved everyone and just always had a beautiful smile on his face, always had a laughter that would draw you in. He was very well loved.
Loved ones explain Fred was shot August 31st by one of more than 40 gunshots fired that night. They say a group of young men ran from the scene. His family believes several people know exactly who pulled the trigger, but no one has stepped forward.
We still have not had the person who did this to Fred, who took his life, come forth and be honest. And there's also other people who were around Fred that night. Several of his so-called friends that were with him that night that know exactly who it is.
Fred's aunt says she and his mother have seen video of his final moments, stumbling for help before collapsing at a neighbor's home, where CPR couldn't save him.
They've taken a life too early, and they have us in pain. You know, it has brought our family closer to God especially, but we are still hurting and want answers.
The vigil, titled From Dusk to Dawn, wasn't just about remembering Fred. It was also a call to the community for young people to step up, support one another, and reject the violence that stole his life.
We need the community to come out and step forward, letting us know what you guys know.
As the candles fade, Fred's family says their message does not, urging anyone who knows what happened here to come forward. In Eunice, Bailey Liebert, KLFY, News 10.
I lost $50,000 because I didn't buy a domain name. My advice, head to Wix and grab yours now. It's quick and it can make all the difference. Here's why it matters. Back in 2019, I had this killer business idea, but I delayed getting the domain name because I wasn't ready. That was a huge mistake. Someone else grabbed it, built the exact same business I planned, and now they're making all the money that I could have been making. And that's why I'm sharing this. Locking down your domain name is crucial, and on Wix, it's super fast. They handle all the tricky tech stuff for you, making it seamless. And honestly, having a domain name gives your idea instant credibility. A domain name isn't just a name, it's a way to claim your space and take your idea seriously. Because once it's taken, you're stuck paying a premier price for it or losing it. So go to Wix right now, search your idea. If the domain is available, grab it.
A 6-year-old died after an early morning house fire. Neighbors now wish more could have been done. Thanks for being here this Sunday evening. I'm Terrell Bailey. So this fire early this morning happened on Rutherford Street in Detroit. The girl's mother and her 4-year-old brother were also hurt. CBS News Detroit's Julia Avan is live there at that scene right now. So Julia, we've learned that some of those neighbors actually jumped in immediately to help that family.
I spoke to that gentleman who said he was awoken by the sounds of screams
When he looked out his window, he found that mother and little boy. He says she tried to go back in to save one of her children. That child did not make it. Charlotte Baker, who lives next to this home on Rutherford Street, recalling her first thoughts. She came home and saw this.
Imagine that there's kids in there and couldn't nobody get to them.
Despite the fire department's best efforts, a 6-year-old girl who lovingly called Baker TT wasn't able to be saved.
I feel sorry for her because, you lost a kid right before Christmas, and that's a hurting feeling.
Marcus Hutton, who lives on the other side of the home, was the first person to help.
Then I looked out the window and I saw the little baby, the little 4-year-old on the side of the house.
He grabbed the 4-year-old boy, taking him to safety. The boy and his mother were both taken to the hospital. Hutton says the mother tried to go back into her home to save her other child, but it was too late.
So I got her in here. She still was screaming. You couldn't understand what she was saying. She kept on saying, my baby, my baby, my baby. I thought she only had one baby over there, but she had 2.
First responders who answered the call for help at a loss for words over this family's loss right before the holidays.
This is terrible. This is really terrible.
I just heard from the Detroit Fire Department just minutes ago, and they just let me know that the mother has been transported to another hospital and is in critical condition. I know we mentioned that the 6-year-old was a girl. I just spoke to a neighbor, and they actually said it's a boy, so we are unclear of the gender of the child that did pass away. But I want to give you a little bit of information that can keep your family safe. This fire is still under investigation, so it's unclear on how it happened, but the Detroit Fire Department wants to remind families that when it's cold outside, there are many ways that your house can catch on fire, whether it's using space heaters, Christmas trees. They are all hazard. Make sure you're following those safety guidelines so you can keep yourself and your family safe. In Detroit, I'm Julia Avant, CBS News, Detroit.
Such a sad story, like that woman mentioned, right before the holidays. Of course, we're sending our prayers to that family. Julia, thank you.
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside. Here's how it works. First, go to riverside.fm and open an account, and then you'll be able to capture high-quality video and audio from practically anywhere in the world. When it comes to editing, Riverside is perfect for beginners. Even if you have zero experience, you can use their AI tools and intuitive editing features to create a professional-looking result. You can get transcriptions automatically and use them to edit like a doc, or you can use the chapter timeline feature, which makes it way easier just to skim and scan. Ready to share? Well, it's okay if you don't have an audience yet. Everybody starts somewhere, and Riverside has perfect tools to help you grow your audience, like live streaming if you're into that, or you can use their AI tools to create automated short clips that you can post on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok to increase your engagement. Your podcast really is just one click away with Riverside. Just bring your idea, we'll do the rest. Try it now, it's free.
Welcome in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstad, and it is great to be streaming along here with you on our Thursday afternoon. Angelique, it does somewhat feel like a Friday, I must admit. But we've got a busy day of news and a lot of stories to get to. And Angelique, one of the stories you're dealing with today involves a stabbing at a jail. Unfortunately, you cover so many of these, and I understand a family's just devastated because their loved one, their son, was stabbed 20 times.
That is exactly what this mother was saying. In fact, she had tears in her eyes as she talked to us this afternoon about what happened at the Fulton County Jail. She says it happened just a week before Thanksgiving. And she was courageous enough to share some photos with us of her son. She says she wants somebody held accountable for this attack. Now, we are not releasing his name. He was immediately transported to Grady Hospital and treated there several nights for his injuries.
He was stabbed in his head and his body, upper trunk, some back. If I was not mistaken, it was over two to three people. And it was during a time when guards were around. There was multiple guards around. And my son even said a guard laughed at him. I was calling the hospital and they had him as a John Doe, so his name wasn't given. I found out when he was sent back to the medical of Fulton County Jail that he had been stabbed over 20 times.
Now, the mother says many of these stab wounds were so bad that her son is disfigured and she can't even recognize him now. She says she believes that 3 inmates were in the commissary area and they were involved in this attack. We have reached out to Fulton County Jail officials to try to get their input. We are still waiting to hear back from them.
Angelique, this is just horrible. I mean, looking at the photos that you guys were able to capture and just the damage that was done. And to hear his story, too, of just what he experienced being in the jail. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would say that even though there are guards and people are around, it doesn't mean that you're safe.
Absolutely. She said she really feels that her son is not safe, that there were guards there. And she went as far as to say that one of the guards even laughed at her son. So I've asked Fulton County officials to talk to us about that. Let's hear now from this mother who talks again about these injuries.
It didn't look like himself. When his sister saw him, she screamed. They put her out the courtroom. Said a toothbrush probably shaved down into a shape of a knife.
Was it just one weapon or all of them seemed?
All of them had weapons. All 3 individuals had weapons.
So they were kind of shanks made from the jail, homemade weapons.
Yes. He's going to have to get some plastic surgery. He's going to have to. He doesn't look normal. It doesn't look normal. They were trying to kill my son, I think. For him to be stabbed over 20 times, they were trying to kill him.
And you saw those shanks there. We've heard a whole lot about those shanks. Many of them are made from the building itself. And Sheriff Patrick Labatt has talked about how that building is just crumbling. And unfortunately, a lot of these inmates use parts of that building and they become weapons. Now, this young man is now in the Troup County Jail. He's wrapped up his case in Fulton County. I talked with Troup County officials this afternoon. They said they were very much aware of the attack, that they have prescribed him medications, and they feel like they have addressed his medical needs, but his mother thinks that he still needs even more medical attention.
I would understand that. You know, it's really interesting that with the medical attention he is receiving and what they're trying to do to help him, he had to go to another jail to be removed from the situation. So would he come back to the Fulton County Jail, or he would stay in Troup County?
So his case with Fulton County is now wrapped up.
I see.
He has since taken an offered plea on that case. So now he is on a violation of probation charge there in Troup County. And so we'll have to see if he's able to get a bond there or what happens with that.
Okay.
But since this attack in Fulton County just happened, she says he's still dealing with a lot of injuries. And they talked to him as recently as this morning, and he's still in a whole lot of pain.
Yeah, absolutely. I could imagine. You guys, we are streaming along here live on YouTube, of course, TikTok. And I want to draw our attention real quick, Angelique, to these comments, because you may have some insight of this. Some of our chatters are talking about a previous case, and someone says that they're asking about a 16-year-old who was shot at an Atlanta graduation. And I think they're talking about the Benjamin E. Mays high school graduation. And I know you're really familiar with that. I understand a trial starting soon, so we'll probably look into it. Do you remember anything about that case?
That was a very high-profile case at Benjamin E. Mays High School. I recall that is the high school that Mayor Andre Dickens attended, and he came and did a press conference afterwards because the kids had gathered there without any authorization from the school when that shooting happened. And I have talked to that young lady's mother, and they are just heartbroken. So you want to see what happens to those who were accused. And so we definitely probably need to look into that trial to see how it's coming along.
Okay, guys. So like I said, if you guys have questions on stories you want to see covered, you want to know what our newsroom's up to, ask us. Because now Angelique, I'm sure she's going to go talk to our assignment desk and say what's going on with this case. We know 3 people were charged in that case. So we'll keep you updated as that trial progresses. Angelique, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was good to see.
Our commitments are what shape our lives. They're what make you, you. And when it comes to selecting a birth control method, the Twirla patch sticks with you. Twirla is a birth control patch for women with a BMI of less than 30 kilograms per meter squared who can become pregnant. Twirla is less effective in women with a BMI of 25 or more. Each month, you'll apply 1 patch a week for 3 weeks, and the 4th week is patch-free. No pills, devices, or procedures. Made with a low dose of estrogen, 5 layers, and soft woven fabric, Twirla is the only patch with skin fusion technology that is designed to move with your body. Do not use Twirla if you smoke cigarettes and are over 35 years old. Smoking increases your risk of serious cardiovascular side effects. This risk increases with age and the number of cigarettes you smoke. Do not use Twirla if your BMI is 30 or more. If you do not know what your BMI is, please talk to your healthcare provider. Continue watching for additional important risk information at the end of this video. Twirla is a low-dose, once-weekly combined hormonal contraceptive patch containing 30 micrograms of ethanol estradiol daily. A birth control choice that keeps up with everything you do, so you can focus on what matters most. Ask your doctor about the Twirla patch today. Continue watching for additional important risk information at the end of this video.
All right, this morning we're working to learn more about a shooting in DeKalb County. This happened overnight at an apartment complex off Chatfield Drive, that's in Stone Mountain. Our crew spotted the medical examiner at the scene. We did speak to a security guard who told us she saw several police officers and medical workers. Right now, there's no word yet on what sparked the shooting or how many people were injured.
Developing out of southwest Atlanta, police say 2 teens were shot while trying to steal packages off of a porch, and now that homeowner could face charges.
Yeah, Good Day's Mark Teichner is live at Grady Memorial Hospital, where both teens were taken after that shooting. Mark, good morning.
Good morning to both of you. And one of those teenagers, a 15-year-old, he was shot in the right foot. Now, he's expected to be okay. The other one, though, his age has not yet been released, but he was shot in the right arm, and at last check was in critical condition.
We did arrive to find 2 juveniles that had been injured.
Sky Fox 5 shows the scene as Atlanta police search for evidence after they say a homeowner opened fire on a pair of suspected porch pirates. The shooting happened around 3:30 Thursday afternoon on Celeste Lane in southwest Atlanta. That's where police say the teens tried to steal packages from a home inside the Villages of Cascade complex.
We believe a property crime was occurring, that some packages were being taken off of a front porch.
According to investigators, the person living in the house realized what was happening, came out, and started shooting.
The homeowner did discharge his weapon to stop that theft of the packages.
Both teens were shot. A 15-year-old was hit in the right foot. The other shot in the right arm.
Another individual who has not yet been identified, we believe to be a juvenile that has been seriously injured by gunfire and is receiving care at Grady Hospital.
The homeowner is questioned by detectives to determine what, if any, charges could be filed.
We want to make sure we know what's happening, this individual is being held accountable, and what resources may be needed for that family.
The names of everyone involved have not yet been released. If we do get an update about those potential charges, if there are any, we'll let you know right away. Reporting live from Grady Memorial Hospital in downtown, I'm Mark Teichner for Good Day Atlanta.
All right, Mark, thank you. Well, there is a new effort to find a Texas attorney and professor who went missing in North Georgia. His family is trying to find him and bring him home for the holidays.
Yeah, Charles Hosh was last seen while hiking near Blood Mountain. This was back on November 11th. Good Day's Kim Leffler is at the Fox 5 Live desk with the latest on the search. Kim, good morning.
Good morning. Well, authorities have suspended their formal search for Hosh, but his family says they're not giving up. They're asking for volunteers to help them look for him this weekend as part of what they call one last major push to find him. Hosh went missing on November 11th while hiking on the Byron Herbert Reach Trail in Union County. His family says it's a trail he's known since childhood. The Union County Sheriff's Office paused formal search efforts for Hosh in November after searching for him for nearly 2 weeks from the air and on the ground while they wait for new information or clues about where he could be. Now Hosh's family is asking for volunteers, including hikers and medical support, to help them look for him on Saturday and Sunday. They say this will be one of the last times they can safely search before the weather stops them.
We're trying to think like Dad, trying to imagine what might have happened and which trail he might have taken. And when you have to think like Dad, you have to also be, while both practical, extremely forward-thinking and optimistic. It is impossible to give up when you're looking for somebody that you know would never give up looking for you.
Family is also accepting donations to help with the search. So far, their GoFundMe has raised over $67,000. At the live desk, Kim Leffler for Good Day Atlanta.
All right, Kim, thank you. Marietta homeowner is speaking out after discovering a complete stranger had moved into her home while it was listed for sale. Adriana Ward rushed to the property after a realtor reported a missing lockbox, and she found the blinds had been shut and the deadbolt changed. Police found Timothy Pyron inside, claiming that he had squatter rights. He was arrested for damaging the door, and Ward says it was a mess when she got a look inside.
Insane amount of smells to incense and marijuana. It was like so penetrating that our eyes were red. Insane amount of trash inside of the room. He also had pets. He had these gerbils.
Ward has since put up more cameras in and outside of her home. She believes that Pyron had been living there for 4 or 5 days. He is now in the Cobb County Jail.
In Greene County, about an hour and 15 minutes east of Atlanta, the head coach for the high school there has been arrested and is accused of hitting and choking players. A GBI report says 34-year-old Darius Robinson assaulted the minors who played for him between September and November of this year. He was taken into custody yesterday and is charged with aggravated assault and simple battery. The Greene County school system says Robinson was already on leave before he was arrested.
You know that moment when
So to the people, you see there's a lot going on, man, out here. Diabolical. All right, I guess, Aggie, you're not in here. So, all right then, well, you know, I'm going to end it here, you know, with the updates. And, you know, your girl will be coming back with you for more, updates to see if we're scratching, you know. And I'm going to end it like I always like to end it. Good old Winnie the Poohski, Christopher Robin. You're smarter than you think, you're braver than you believe, and you're stronger than you seem. I feel it in my soul every time. Remember, it's all love over here. Now y'all be real smooth with it, cool with it, and 100% true with it, you know? Until next time. Again, it's all love over here.